Foot in the ground, off we go, and headed straight forward. That's how I look at gambling. I have a goal every time I go, and it's not always the same. I think that's an important thing for us to all remember too. What are your goals? Goals are your North Star. Goals are what ground you, okay? Ground you in reality, and it gives you, like, an example I use all the time is football, right? You watch enough football, you'll hear the announcer say, he's got to stick his foot in the ground and make a decision, right? Talk about a running back hitting the hole, right? A lot of running backs will bounce, and not really know where they're going, and they get creamed in the backfield, right? Guys that can see and have vision and put their foot in the ground and lean into it and drive off, they have a goal. Execute the play. Sometimes there's a dodge to make, right? But when they make the move to pick a different hole or follow a different guy through the line, foot in the ground, off we go, and headed straight forward. That's how I look at gambling. I have a goal every time I go, and it's not always the same. I think that's an important thing for us to all remember too. What are your goals? And this is a question you have to ask yourself, okay? Your goal, by the way, could be different all the time. And I want you to be aware of this. Your goal may not always be the same. Sometimes, daily paycheck, my goal is a consistent win. I want to win consistently every day. Your goal, if you're a full-time gambler, right? If you're gambling for a living, your goal is consistent wins. If you're retired and you're going to the casino 3 times a week, right? Your goal might be to have consistent wins to pay for your breakfast and take your wife or your family out to a show, right? That's fine, consistent wins. Your goal could be disposable income, right? You might just say, I'm going to bring $1,000 out here. I'm going to try and make me 3 or 4, right? I'm going to try for the home run, right? That might be to make disposable income so I can go buy some stuff, right? Maybe your goal is, let's go to the casino and let's take our money and try and win enough money to do something cool, to buy something, maybe put a down payment on a car or Christmas money or whatever it is, right? A little bit of DI, the other kind of DI, disposable income. Maybe your goal is to earn comps. We talk, good friend of mine, Brian, from Holy Roller, his entire goal is to earn comps, right? He goes to the cruise ships. He's got a way of playing that's not designed to make a killing. He makes money, but he's not trying to destroy a table. He's trying to earn time with consistent bet sizes to get that comp meter going, because he earns another free cruise. And with the free cruise comes free shows, free food, free drinks, entertainment, the pools, and all the things that go with it, all the excursions. He gets to travel the world basically for free, right? That's his gambling goal. He plays in a way that suits the goal, right? Your goal might be chip porn, right? You might go on Facebook and sort of, hey, look what I did. Your goal might be a fun night out. I say this all the time. It's okay to take $500 and go burn it tonight. Tonight, date night. We're going to go get dinner up there at the casino. We're going to go play for a few hours. And my entire goal is to light the money on fire. If something happens, great, but it's a night out. There's not one of us out here that wouldn't spend $300 on a concert of your favorite band, or $250 on a nice dinner. You gonna spend that much money on yourself at a table to have a good time? Cool. Bachelor party, friends in town, whatever. That's a fine goal to have. It's a fine goal to have. Say, hey, I'm gonna light the money on fire, but I'm gonna do it slowly so I can have fun for a while. That's cool. That's a good goal. If something wins, it's a bonus on that deal, right? A goal might be to felt the table. You might be going out there and saying, I have enough money that I don't need the disposable income. I don't need a consistent win. I don't need the comps. I don't care about having any fun. I just want to go and get the dust bunnies. I want to go and take every chip out of that rack on the blackjack table. I want to go and take every chip off the felt on a craps table. That might be a goal for you. And you're not satisfied unless you really walk out of there with a hammer. Cool. But you got to know what your goal is, right? I think knowing the goal that you have before you leave your house is a critical piece to it, okay? And I think also your goals can be different every session, right? When I go to Vegas, my trip goal might be different than my goal when I go to my local. You follow me? I'm going to Vegas for 3 days. My goal there, make sure I survive 3 days. Make sure I have money on Sunday when I get there on Thursday, right? That's goal number 1, right? But your goal there might be a little more aggressive, right? Earn enough money to pay for the trip, earn enough money to pay for those plane tickets, leave Vegas with cash. A goal for me when I go to Vegas every time is to leave there with $1 more than I came with and pay for the trip. All the food, my plane tickets, of course the rooms are comped, right? And my play, I want to leave. Last time in Vegas, I came back with $9 in profit. I paid for everything, all the food, everything I did, my tchotchkes, all what I bought, came back with $9. I was like doing backflips. I was so excited, right? That's a good goal for a trip. Your session goal, when you go to a casino for a night, what's your goal for that session? What is your goal for your buy-in at the table? I'm going to buy in today at this table right now for $500. What's my goal? $50, $100, $200, $1,000. Have a goal for that, right? At the craps table or the roulette table, let's say, what's your goal for this sequence, right? For this shooter, perhaps, or this sequence of, I look at roulette in groups of 5 rolls, right? 5 spins. For this group of 5 spins, I'm going to risk X dollars. I'm looking to win X dollars off of that, right? That's my goal. And these micro goals I think are good. They might differ every time you walk out of the house, but you got to put them down on paper, or at least in your head, state them and be okay with sticking to them. I think that's an important piece to it, right? So here's what I would say, and you guys should write this down, is your goal statement. Okay? In or for this session, trip, buy-in, table, whatever you want to fill the blank in, for this session, I'm willing to risk X number of dollars to win Y number of dollars by playing whatever game it is or strategy it is, so that whatever. Okay? For example, for this trip to the casino, I'm willing to risk 500 to win 100 by playing the Iron Cross in craps, so that I can grow my bankroll by $100. Okay. In this trip to Vegas, I'm willing to risk 5,000 to win $1 and pay for my entire trip by playing craps, so that it has zero impact on my 401k account, right? Statements like that before you leave your house to go to the casino or to a foreign place to go play for multiple days, you got to have this in your head. You can even say this at the table, right? For this shooter, I'm willing to risk $64 to win $14 by playing in a cross strategy, so that I can lock up a win on the shooter, right? For this shooter, I'm willing to risk $64 to win $64 so that I can play for free on house money. Those goal statements, I think, are powerful. When you got that in your head, when you said it out loud, right? At least said it to yourself, that sets your brain in the right spot. You put yourself in the right mindset to attack the table. And it's okay for your goal to be this. For this session, I'm willing to risk $1,000 to win $10,000 by playing 640 across, so that I can try and felt the table. That's an okay goal if you don't care about losing the grant, okay? But you got to say out loud, I am willing to risk whatever. You got to be able to say that and stick to it. If you go past your goal or you change your goal, you've got to be willing and courageous enough to stop when you hit your goal. And I think that's an important thing. A lot of people can make a goal statement like this and they don't stick to it. They forget where they came from. They forget the reason for being there, and they go full degen, or they rail dump, or they lose it for a minute and they go off script. When you go off script is when you lose, guys. When you go off script, that's where the casino gets you. Right? They already have the edge. Don't give them more edge by going off script. And I think if you don't start with a script, you're going to be in trouble too. And that's why I think goals are so critically important. Okay. So the questions that I've got for you then, I guess to follow up with here are this. Does your bankroll, does your personality match your goal? And that's going to be the subject for tomorrow's Gambling 101, Class 3. We're going to do a personality check, because I think what's important is your personality, who you are, right? Are you a aggressive bettor? Are you a passive bettor? Are you a conservative guy? Are you a complete mathematician? Are you a dice influencer, right? Do you think you have an advantage? Your personality, right? The way you want to play, the way you see yourself on the table for life or for this given session, does that match your bankroll, number one? Does your bankroll support what you want to do? Okay. That's A. And B, does that match your goal? Right? If your goal, and I'll give you my daily paycheck example. In the daily paycheck, I want to win 10%. I want to buy in for 10% of my master bankroll. I want to win 10% off the table, right? That's my goal. My bankroll is 2,500, so I have enough bankroll to match my goal. But my personality is aggressive, right? If I go out there with an aggressive strategy, I will not hit my goal. So you got to match up like your personality type with the way you want to play to match the goal. We'll talk about that tomorrow. And actually all of next week, we're going to examine, psychologically speaking, the different gambling personality types and see how each personality type can match to the right strategy or the right way of playing to fit the goal. I think it's important. Again, if your goal is to win 10%, going out there with half of your bankroll twice ain't the way to do it. And I think we need to be putting our brains behind some of that stuff and being okay with the reality that I may not have the bankroll to play the way I want to. I got to change my goal. I may have the bankroll to do this thing, but I'm playing it wrong, right? And be able to match that stuff up. I think it's very important